Hello, my lovely people, welcome back to Turkish series stars. It feels amazing to have you here with me again, and if this is your first time tuning in, come in for a warm hug and make yourself at home. This is where we dive into the most addictive stories from the world of entertainment, TV, beloved actors, and the romances that keep us all dreaming. Today's topic has that irresistible mix you adore, mystery, emotion, and a gesture that sets social media on fire. We're talking about the gift from Barış Arduç to Elçin Senga that made everyone melt. Yes, that gift, the one that got fans whispering, shouting, theorizing, and, let's be honest, secretly swooning. Before we begin, if you enjoy living these moments with us, hit subscribe to Turkish series stars and turn on the bell so you never miss the next reveal. Now, let's get into it. Let's be real. The chemistry between Barış and Elçin is the kind that doesn't ask permission to enter a room. It just takes over. Even years after their iconic pairing, that spark is still the reference point for romance lovers. And in a curious twist of fate, fans often compare their electric pull to what Candy Bit and Sincerity radiated in Erkensikas. From the very first scene of those fictional souls, that fevered dream of a romance felt larger than the screen. And somehow, when Barış and Elçin are together, the atmosphere changes the same way. That's not just acting talent. That's intuition, timing, and something unteachable. Because of that intense connection, rumors have always swirled around them. Every photo together, every smile in an interview, each look that lasted one heartbeat too long, fans noticed everything. Through the heavy press schedule, the late-night shoots, the stage lights, and the relentless comments online, their bond felt like a story you could reach out and touch. And then, in the middle of that rustle of attention, a whisper made its way to the surface. Barış had given a gift to Elçin. Not just any present, a gesture so personal it became a talking point everywhere. People said it was the proof that pushed fans over the edge, the detail that turned a favorite pairing into a living, breathing love letter. But what was it? A glittering show of extravagance? A grand surprise with a spotlight and a chorus? No. According to the quiet trail of posts, the gossip shared by extras, friends of friends, and accounts that always seemed to know a little too much, the gift wasn't expensive metal or rare stones. It wasn't a luxury car or a designer piece meant to dazzle. It was something made. Something thought through. Something with time and touch embedded in it. And that's where people lost their minds, in the best possible way. Picture it. Barış, the man who can turn a single glance into 1,000 confessions on camera, deciding that words must be carved rather than bought. He set aside the obvious showmanship. He chose patience over flash. He chose careful, precise attention, committing to a gift that could be held close and revisited again and again. If you've ever received something made by the hands of someone you cherish, you know that weight. The hours that linger in it. The breaths taken before the brush or pen or string or page moves. That's what fans say he gave Elçin. The timing matters, too. There were hectic weeks when promotional shoots had them juggling different projects, when they were answering questions that danced dangerously near their private life, and when expectations grew too loud to ignore. Somehow, amid that storm, a quiet act emerged. The whispers say the gift wasn't about a date or a season or a celebration, it was about now. About choosing the present as a reason. About turning their shared history into something tangible without asking the world for permission. So, what form did this mystery take? Theories flourished. Some swore it was a handwritten collection of moments, memories placed into words, the kind that feel like stepping stones across a river that only they knew how to cross. Others argued it had to be music, because who else but a man completely taken would even try to translate his feeling into sound? And then came the romantics, the ones who always believe in ink and touches of art, saying it was an object shaped by patience, maybe a sketch, maybe a crafted keepsake, a frame that holds a story without speaking. No matter the specifics, every path led to the same destination, sincerity. And there's another detail people can't stop bringing up, what came with the gift. Not just a note with polite lines, not a quick love you typed in a hurry. Something more intimate, a message with backbone, the kind of letter where you don't play it safe. The words reportedly moved between their dreams and the roadmaps they've sketched secretly, the resilience they've built at each other's side, the admiration that doesn't need applause. It felt like the kind of message that takes your breath for a second and presses it into your chest, asking you to feel rather than react. When fans say it charmed everyone, they mean it wasn't only Elçin who was touched by it, though it's easy to imagine her smile folding into that subtle softness she has when she's deeply moved. It was all of us. The reporters who roll their eyes at fluffy stories paused. The fandoms that argue over ships found themselves on the same side for a day. People saw in this gesture the version of romance that feels real, unhurried, and built for two people rather than an audience. It was like catching the quiet part of a song and realizing that's the part you'll hum for the rest of your life. Now, of course, we live in an era where nothing stays tucked away. A detail leaks, and within minutes it travels. A blurry photo shows up, and suddenly it's on every timeline. That's exactly what happened. One hint became 10, and 10 became a wave. The idea that Barış chose something handmade, something he pieced together himself, caught fire. It strengthened the image fans already had of him, the man who carries an old-school soul under a modern spotlight. And for Elçin, receiving that depth of care became part of the legend of who she is to him and who he is to her. In the entertainment world, where stories can balloon into myths and then deflate without warning, one thing remained steady: people felt the truth in it. This gift, whatever the final form, seemed to mark a shift. Not a beginning, not an ending, but a chapter change. It suggested a perfect alignment, the understanding of what the other person values, the instinct to speak in a language meant only for them, the bravery to be thoughtful in a business that usually rewards noise. Some accounts swear it was a photo album he created from scratch, with moments captured both on set and off, stitched together with notes and small confessions only two people would fully understand. Others say it included stills that echoed the moods of Candybit and Sanemane, as if the warmth of that fictional world could sit side by side with the quiet reality they share when no camera is rolling. Imagine running your fingers across pages curated by the person who knows how you breathe when you're tired and how you laugh when you're truly free. Imagine finding in each image a sentence he didn't speak aloud, because the picture already did. And if, as some whisper, a letter sat at the heart of it, then the emotion was the kind that reverberates for days. The kind that makes you walk slower so you can feel every step. The kind of writing that turns an ordinary afternoon into a cherished date, even if you never stepped outside. Fans believed because the details made sense, not because they were spectacular, but because they were human. This story turned two adored actors into two people in love before our eyes. The way we collectively received it says something about what we crave, not spectacle, but sincerity, not noise, but truth. It reminded everyone that the gestures that last aren't about price tags but about presence. And let's talk about reciprocity. The reason this narrative resonated so deeply is because it didn't feel one-sided. Barış wasn't performing, he was offering. And Elçin, in how she reportedly responded, with gratitude, with softness, with an appreciation for the time poured into it, showed that she values intention more than display. That mutual respect is exactly what fans cling to. It's what has kept their names at the center of so many conversations without the need for fireworks. In an industry where relationships are often treated like storylines with a set premiere date and an expiration built in, moments like this push back against cynicism. They show us that romance can be careful and still exciting, quiet and still unforgettable. That what many would call small is actually enormous when it's built from attention and care. Even if the edges of the story blur, because rumors are wind and wind always shifts, the effect is undeniable. The gift became a symbol. It stood for the best of them, the gentleness behind the glamour, the patience beneath the public gaze, the inner truth of two people who understand each other's rhythms. It fed the hope of fans who want to believe that some pairings are destined to leave a mark beyond a poster or an episode. And if you ask me what the takeaway is, I'd say it's beautifully simple. Love needs time more than it needs things. It asks for thoughtfulness, for the steady decision to keep showing up. What people keep repeating about this enigmatic present from Barış to Elçin is that it distilled all of that into something you can hold. It wasn't meant to impress a crowd. It was meant to meet one heart exactly where it lives. To wrap up what we've uncovered, the much-talked-about gift that supposedly had everyone enchanted wasn't about grandeur. It was about craft. It carried a message layered with depth and admiration. It mirrored who they are together, two stars who never needed a loud script to communicate something real. It carved out a memory that belongs to them while letting the rest of us feel, for a moment, that we'd witnessed something rare. Tell me, what do you think that gift really was? Was it pages and ink, strings and melody, a keepsake shaped by hand? Do you think the whispers got it right, or do you believe the truth is even more intimate than the rumors suggest? Drop your thoughts and your theories in the comments, because you know I read everything and I love following the delicate trails you uncover. If spending time with this story made your day a little softer, give this video a like so Turkish series stars can keep bringing you the kind of content that makes you exhale and smile. Share it with the friends who can't resist a love story with texture and heart. And, of course, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you for being here, for your curiosity, your passion, and the way you hold these stories with care. This has been another deep dive into the moments that remind us why we fell in love with these stars in the first place. I'll see you in the next one, with more from the screen, from behind the scenes, and from the places where fiction and real feeling blur in the most unforgettable way. Until then, from all of us at Turkish Series Stars, take good care and keep believing in the gestures that matter most.